The only person is he say sit too.
That's because he be on the. He seemed like someone who always be on a schedule though,
Mm-hmm.
and he like scheduling shit.
Yeah.
Everybody else, you got to give a window.
Yep. Yeah. I'm ready to. When I say time, that's the time I'm playing. You already pushed it out? Yep. I already got the notification. Where did you go? Oh, you know what? You know what?
Did you put
Your mic is off. That's why I can't hear.
Did you put in the chat?
Yeah. I dropped the link in the chat.
Mic check, mic check. Is it on?
Yeah, yours is on mine.
Oh. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Wait, who again?
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Hey, Shelton, give me a mic check.
Mic check, 1, 2, mic check. You hear me?
One more time.
Mic check, 1, 2, mic
I got
check,
you.
mic check.
All right, cool. You grab the card and then we'll be ready to go.
All right.
Card is recording. We got somebody.
He had some shit to say. I knew he was coming.
Man. 1 minute before we go live, man. What up, bro?
Yo. What up?
All right.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool.
I don't know when Q gonna show up. Dark room.
It's funny. Manny the only one on the West Coast, but Q move off Pacific time.
That nigga Q said he show up when he show up.
Q said, "My presence is a present."
Facts.
He like Lauryn Hill.
All right, 1 minute. All right. Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Let's do it. This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead End Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show, we got Nikki Duce,
What's going on?
Shelton J. Oh, smaller Shelton, Jay. Okay.
What's happening, man?
Sheldon over there eating a hand. Want nobody to see it.
You watching Carolina? That's what you're doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know it.
All I heard was
Hey,
hella
sorry about
smacking in the back.
And
No, I was
and
eating.
Manny's here with us from Any Given Sunday. What's good, bro?
What's good?
You just launched a YouTube channel. You told us earlier, right?
Yeah, man. The official AGS YouTube page. We're gonna be posting clips on there, doing videos, all kinds of good stuff. So, yeah, man, check it out. YouTube, Any Given Sunday podcast. Any Given Sunday podcast. You put in Any Given Sunday, you're gonna end up with Al Pacino. So, Any Given Sunday podcast.
They were like, that's not out.
No, I had somebody pull it up today. It was like, I think I'm on a movie, not on your show. I'm like, yeah, Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
Andy, how you feeling, man? I know you kind of down a little bit.
What you mean, man?
What happened tonight? I just saw the score.
Hey, man, listen, man. It's a little bit of a setback year. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. When not every year can be, ACC champs, dominant, 30-5 type of year. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe this year's gonna be like a 20-10 year. But even for us, like for other teams, that's they throwing parades and throwing bouquets and stuff. For me, we could do better. But next year with my dog Paolo coming to Cameron,
Paolo,
we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, they I don't like it when Duke is down. I like when we beat them and they're up. To be honest, I'm really not happy when they're down.
It's like a lot of people's ups. So it happens, man.
That's why you got the hat on. He tried to show faith in the squad.
I got the Duke colors on tonight. I was a little upset.
All right, that's enough Duke talk on this show, damn it.
But I did want to, Manny,
Duke is apropos right now.
Manny, I did want to talk to you about college football though. As everybody know, last night was the big championship game that it seemed like almost didn't happen, but glad it did. Man, I'm
not glad it did.
Why not?
I should put America to sleep.
For that game?
Yes, that game. Man, listen. When I said I had some stuff to say, I ain't gonna curse this early in the show. When I said I had some stuff to say earlier, in our little group chat or whatever. This is one of the topics I wanted to talk about. College football, man. What has happened to college football? When did college football become the NBA? Like, this is a joke. Like, literally, seriously. Alabama, again, national champ. And I'm not a hater. Nick Saban is a hell of a coach. He's a great coach. Alabama's got it firing on all cylinders. They're a team that deserves to win. I'm not knocking them. They are a dynasty. They are the power of college football this last 10, 15 years. But it's getting to be a joke, man. I mean, it's getting to be a joke. I mean, college football right now is probably the worst that I've ever seen it in my lifetime. And I'm not saying it as a bitter Nebraska football fan. We haven't been shit since the late 90s. But it's ridiculous. It's like every year the same four teams. Like next year, close your eyes right now. Next year, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and then that fourth team is anybody between Auburn, Georgia, Florida, LSU, Oklahoma. That's it.
Yeah, the fourth team is a fart in the wind. It don't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and everybody keeps asking, everybody keeps talking about expanding the college football playoff system, expanding it. For what? 14? Like Joe Klatt had a good playoff structure, a good system that he announced on the Herd. Y'all can check it out on YouTube or whatever. When he did his appearance today, 14 teams or whatever, the five Power Five teams. Letting more teams in, and that's cool and all, but do we really want to see an expanded playoff? I mean, I don't want to see Cincinnati get killed by.
All right, chill out. I don't know why you had to pull. You could have said any. You could have said San Diego State.
Let's be real, man. Like, yo, it's college football more than any other sports is the haves and the have-nots. Like, and it's just boring to me now. And I love college football. It pays me to say that.
Do you?
I love college football more than I love the NFL.
Was Alabama really just that much better, or was Steve Sarkisian really calling some good ass motherfuckers?
No, Steve Sarkisian. I mean, like this idea that Steve Sarkisian called the greatest play, the greatest play calling game in the history of sports is a little far fetched. Like, first of all, you got Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, Jalen Waddle is basically a decoy. Like, is there? Like, Ken, you could call plays. It's not that difficult. Like, throw out Devontae, let him do work. Like, it's not that serious.
No,
Like,
Devontae was eating, bro. My first game, full game watching him.
He's gross, bro.
Man, I don't know if it was either Ohio State's defense was that bad, secondary, or he is just literally the Heisman Trophy winner that he is.
No, he's that good. He's that good, and Ohio State's defensive scheme was
terrible.
Yes.
Like, what the hell was Ryan Day? Like, did Ryan Day have a week to coach? Like, what was he doing?
He played a 4-4.
It looked like he was experimenting because I saw a lot of one-on-one. And I just see him try to cover him with a linebacker in one play. I'm like, what?
A white linebacker.
Yeah.
So that was horrible. That play where he went in motion, and I saw that they were in man. I was like, why in the world are y'all in man with one man following?
Bro, that's a fireable offense to me. Like, if you call the game that bad,
like, what in the world? There's not a man on earth that would have fared well in that play. Dion was probably the only person that could have caught up with him and stayed with him in that play.
Like, did they watch any Alabama film in the last, like, 7, 8 days or whatever since they last played? Like, did they watch any Alabama film at all? Like, did they scout? Like, what did they do for that week off? Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, just the game plan was just... So that's why I'm like, I can't give Sarkisian too much credit because it's like, dude, like...
I don't know, man. Some of them plays, man, these dudes are wide open. Like, wide open.
Wide open. And honestly, Alabama could have put up more points on them if they felt like it. Like, Alabama could have easily put up 70 points if they felt like it. Like, Alabama took their foot off the gas and easily could have put up 50 points. 70 points.
Yeah, it was a bad night for America.
My question...
Like, what do y'all feel about the college... But what do y'all feel about the college football thing, though, man? Because it's like, I've had a lot of conversation with people, like, diehard college football fans, and even they say, like, yo, like, SEC fans at that, right? And they're like, yo, this something got to change, man, because this is crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to really judge off this year because of the circumstances. Looking at the past couple of years, I mean, it's not like Alabama has won every national championship, but it has been 3 powerhouses: OSU, Clemson, LSU dropped in there one year, and then Alabama. But so those are the top dogs, minus LSU. Even though they had a nice run, but that was under the earlier system. I don't know what they can do to change it because, you know, all these teams, it's all about recruiting, and all these guys want to go to the top colleges to play. And they're willing to sit until they get their chance.
That's the problem. Well, the problem is there's a lot of problems. There's a multi-layered issue, right? So in college football, it's not like college basketball. College basketball, Mark Emmert, the NCAA, they're the one central governing body that basically tells all these conferences what to do. In college football, the conferences run everything. So the SEC, along with the big...
They got tired of his shit. They got they
left my nigga standing still.
They were like, enough of this shit. They watching you, Manny.
Yeah, they shut that down.
Yeah, they did.
I'm gonna let him finish his point when he unfreeze.
How?
I'm saying when he unfreeze. When he stopped acting like a mime. But no, he asked the question about what I think. I actually want them to expand the playoff system.
So like, every team below can get washed?
I'm just saying, like, make it at least like the top 6 on both sides. Because it's just like, we come to see Cinderella stories.
What? Okay, there's some creepy shit. He's still talking. He don't know, does he?
I don't think he's talking. I think that's where he played from where he was. Yeah, he fell off.
He had to come back on. But now I think people want to see like those like other cities, teams, and stuff like that to kind of like cleanse the palate. Y'all keep on talking. Y'all literally are just not complaining, but have a gripe against the powerhouses continue to dominate. But we almost saw Cincinnati upset a team like Georgia, where they were supposed to get probably blown out.
How many starters were Georgia? Georgia was down like 4 or 5 starters too.
Like, the principle, nonetheless, Manny. That's what I'm trying to get to. There, it don't have to actually happen, but the fact that it can happen is the exciting part. That's what all about college sports. It's not about the fact of like how many times do you see Kentucky not make it. You know what I'm saying? But they're a big powerhouse. But it's because the team that takes them out, that's even more interesting story than Kentucky itself. So it's like the more you expand
like college basketball, like Duke, right? We just finished having an exchange about Duke and Carolina. Duke and Carolina don't win every year. But everybody likes to think like Duke, Carolina, and Kansas are like winning every year. No, in college basketball, you have a year where Virginia wins. You have a year where UConn as an 8th seed can make a run to the tournament. And when you don't see that in college football, like you never see a year in college football where, Appalachian State comes out of nowhere and makes it to a national championship game. You're not seeing that in college football.
You're not. Here's the thing, though, that I think. I think that sometimes there's some one-loss teams, though, that will still fair a chance, as well as getting them in there, and that will help you with recruiting going forward if you're in the playoffs. So that can kind of help close that gap just a little bit as far as that goes. And it may make it interesting. You may have like you said, Nick, I think inviting the top 6 seeds, having 3 through 6 play to match up against 1 and 2. That kind of makes it interesting to me, at least. If nothing else, I'm not gonna say it's a perfect system. There is none. You know what I'm saying? What can you do except limit Alabama's recruiting? Other than that, you're gonna get what we're getting every year. So I think you have to just kind of spice it up a little bit to try to get a little bit of difference in there. But if you're making the playoffs, like those teams, like we said, we know who 1 through 3 is going to be every year. 4, 5, and 6. If you hit that a couple times, you can use that on your recruiting trail. Maybe you'll get a couple of those guys that's going to Alabama.
I agree. I think they should open it up. I think it should be a 4-team, even though it goes against what I just said. I feel like they should. Like, there has to be some measure of success in college football. Like, I hate to say it because I hated the BCS system. Like, I literally loathed the BCS system. But I found it more interesting when the BCS was in place in the college football playoffs because you take it out of the hands of the committee. Like the college football playoff committee is a bunch of like the SEC commissioner is in the college football playoff committee. Like, come on, you think he's not going to be biased to his conference? Like, come on, like you got to have an outside governing body that controls who gets into the playoffs. Like, you can't have these yes men from different conferences picking the 4 teams in the country. Like, that's just stupid to me.
Do you have
I liked it better when it was a damn computer equation.
Do you have a college football team, Manny?
Yeah, I'm a Nebraska fan.
Who?
Nebraska.
Nebraska? Now, still?
What's that?
You still are?
I still am, sadly. Yeah, I mean, look, I love college football, man. And again,
he got to love college football if he's a Nebraska fan. That's what I was going to say. He pulled that out his ass.
Yeah, that was my dude,
I never told him wash his hands.
One of my family friends went to Nebraska, so when I was a kid, Nebraska, y'all remember Nebraska in the 90s with Tom Osborne?
Yeah, I do.
Shit, 90s, bro. Shit. There's not a lot of people that remember that shit, boy.
Nah, man, that's been my squad ever since, man. But, it sounds like I'm bitter and I'm just, whatever, jealous. Like, no, I'm not taking anything away from Alabama. Alabama is great. They deserve the success that they've had, man. But let's just be real, man. Like,
how old are you, Manny?
It's just not the same anymore, man.
How old are you? You're in your 30s, your 20s?
34.
34? You know you're old enough to, you don't have to be a fan anymore, right? You can let that go. Nebraska.
I don't know what memories you got in Nebraska, bro, that kept you tied to that team, but shit.
That was a point when I got to a certain age, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be a fan anymore.
Trust, baby.
Scott Frost and Bellinger. That was a good quarterback too, Nebraska.
Nah, but the game itself was obviously, like Manny, you said, it was kind of lackluster to a certain after the first half. But the
lackluster
question
is a good word to put it.
The question I got for y'all is: did Fields increase or decrease his draft position after last night's performance?
For me, that's an easy question. For me, it should have kept him where he should have been in the first place. If he's not, like I said, if he's not the second player drafted, I don't know who should be. Because I'm not gonna say he had a perfect game because he did not. He was clearly outmatched. It was clearly, I'm talking about with that defense by his injury. But he made some nice throws in that game. I'm talking about he was throwing some nice balls. And it was a nice light ball, too. It was just some nice passes. And he didn't get flustered. You never saw him get rattled. He didn't seem bothered at all by the pressure. He just kind of did what he could do. And he put up 24 points. They took one touchdown away because the receiver dropped the pass. But, he had a pretty decent game against a pretty stout defense. So I thought he held his own as much as he could.
He didn't hurt his stock for me. It didn't help, but it's hard to say it helped because of obviously the outcome of the game. And the only thing I would disagree with Shelton, I didn't think he made some good throws. He also missed some throws too that I thought, easy throws that he should have made, especially kind of in the, kind of late second quarter there. I thought he missed some wide open receivers. But I mean, again, it's hard to really dissect it because again, the way the flow of the game, the way it was going, and you're right, it did look like his injury bothered him some. But I mean, he's one of the 2 or 3 best quarterback prospects coming out of the draft, man. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, I think there's legitimately a question like him or Wilson at BYU. Like, I don't think it's completely a slam dunk that he's going to be the second quarterback taken. I think it's going to depend a lot on who's the GM and who's scouting and what you look for in a quarterback.
From what you've seen, the eye test, you don't think it should be a slam dunk though?
No, I don't think it's a slam dunk. Like, I'm not saying he shouldn't be a top 10 selection. Of course not. I'm not saying that. But do I think it's a slam? Am I going to go to Vegas and put money that Justin Fields will be drafted number 2 by the Jets or whoever? No, I'm not going to sit there. Because I'm telling you, Zach Wilson is a guy that is getting a lot of love in a lot of NFL circles. And outside of that bowl game, and I'm not going to sit here and cape for Zach Wilson and act like I've watched every single game BYU's played this year. I have not. I saw the bowl game that he played up against South Florida and impressed me. He made some beautiful throws, but that's the only film that I have on him. I'm not watching BYU football religiously like that. So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I wasn't, honestly, I've never been really that impressed with Justin Fields. Like, there's things I like about him.
Yeah, I said, now we finally got it. We got to it, kid. I was waiting for the shit. Manny had to just talk it out. This is therapy. Go ahead. Say your piece.
I will say that national championship not the national, but the game against Clemson, that was probably the best game I've ever seen him play. Like, that was a game that I said, I was like, oh, shit. Like, if he played like that, now I get it. The bulletin board material, the extra motivation, Clemson being Clemson, Dabo writing a check his fucking team couldn't cash. All those things played into that. But that performance that was eye-opening. So coming back to the original point, like, do I think he hurt his stock? No. Do I think he helped his stock? I think he's right where he needs to be. I think he maintained it.
I watched Zach Wilson play Coastal Carolina. I had to look back up the stats because I remember not being impressed at all with that. I'm not saying that Zach Wilson is nice because I think he's a nice quarterback. I saw in a couple of games, and I can see where he's up there, but not Justin Fields level in any way, shape, or form. Against the Coastal Carolina team, I think he threw 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They lost 22-17. He did nothing to impress me. Absolutely nothing in that game.
If you're going to bring up one game,
No.
About the IU game, where Michael Penix Jr. completely outplayed Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, he did. Now I'm not saying that I'm bringing up that particular game because that game was against like mediocre competition at best, is what I would call Coastal Carolina. So that's why I brought that one up because I was interested in that game to see how he would fare against that team. I wanted to see actually how Coastal Carolina would fare against BYU, not the other way around. Mm-hmm. And I was thoroughly impressed with Coastal Carolina, but Zach, he did nothing for me in that game. I just think that I'm not saying he's overrated, but he's not Justin Fields. I don't see how
you may be right. You may be right.
Yeah, I don't see how they can say that. And if they do say it, I honestly think it would have more to do with the color of his skin and the way he plays on the field. I just would think so. Because like I said, I saw nothing to suggest that this guy was the number 2 quarterback in this draft.
You already know the media pundits want their white quarterbacks back. So that's why they propping up all when they seen Trevor Lawrence, this white boy can run. Mm-hmm. Boy, they was like, we got the best of both worlds.
See, with Trevor Lawrence is a slam dunk. So I get that. I get Trevor. I'm not even mad at Trevor because he at least looks the part. It's when they start digging for these guys to try to make the next person, like they build them up out of nowhere, like, oh, this is our guy. And it's like, we got to make somebody that's when I have a problem.
I feel like they're doing that with Mac Jones, not with Zach Wilson. Like, I feel like they overhyping Mac Jones. Like, let's be honest, man. This dude is an accountant. Like, let's be fair. Like, this dude is not that great. Ken, turn back the hands of time. Ken can play quarterback for Alabama. And with that offense, with that talent around him, like, Ken could probably be a Heisman contender.
Why'd they go to the bus? Ken was good back in the day, man. You ain't heard about him? Shit.
I'm calling plays. I'm coaching.
Wrong back in the early days.
I look, man. look, this is Dead in Sports, man. And I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, Zach Wilson is overrated. I feel like y'all tiptoeing around
They
it.
be dancing like a motherfucker on this
Yeah,
thing,
man. Y'all, he overrated. He overhyped.
Y'all be giving him credit
Honestly,
like, look, he's
I
good,
haven't-
bro.
I can't-
Coastal Carolina,
I haven't seen a lot of his.
Shelton, you could have stopped after Coastal Carolina. I didn't need no soliloquy about all that other shit. It's Coastal Carolina. Zach Wilson ain't shit. All right, you want me to say it? I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna say it proud.
Now you capping now, Nick. Now you capping because for me, like a quarterback, like okay, so then why is Trey Lance getting all this hype? And let's be real, who does Trey Lance play with? Who does Trey Lance play against?
Trey Lance don't impress. I'm not impressed
I've only looked at
either.
two quarterbacks. There's only two quarterbacks that I give a fuck about in this draft. That's Fields and Lawrence. Everybody else,
Why? Because they're playing in power conferences. That's like that. To me, you can't.
That means something. That means something.
But you can't look at quarterbacks that way.
Deshaun Watson came from there.
Look, Carson Wentz went to North Dakota State. Like, okay.
I'm about to say, there's a lot of other ones you could have said. You could have went to Wisconsin for Russell Wilson or some shit.
All right, but so we're gonna sit here and act like Carson Wentz at one point or another wasn't a highly regarded quarterback.
If you gotta end at one point or another to describe the good,
he really is a bad example now.
Yeah. Right now, but I'm not gonna sit here and use one season to completely like just erase everything else. Like the dude almost won an MVP had he not broken his leg. Like let's be like we can't have recency bias here and act like Carson Wentz has been shit.
And if he keeps this up, we're gonna say he almost had an NFL career.
Like and it ain't recent, nigga. He been shitty for like 2 years now.
I don't know about shitty for 2 years. Two?
I'm not gonna say I hate on the small schools at all. It's just I look for consistent performance year round. We ain't talked about Zach Wilson all year. Now all of a sudden he's the number 2 quarterback in the draft. Like ain't nobody said nothing about Zach Wilson. Ain't nobody said nothing about BYU. Ain't nobody thought about him because they ain't really done much. Now all of a sudden he's this great quarterback. You know what I'm saying? At least Carson Wentz won when he was at South Dakota State. When they same thing with Trey Lance.
Yeah, South Dakota.
He won. Mm-hmm. Zach Wilson ain't won nothing at BYU. And yeah, you have the cases. I saw somebody mention Josh Allen. Yeah, there's cases where people can slip through the cracks and be good. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. But to start ranking these guys ahead of guys that are proven
that's
themselves,
what people do when it comes to the draft. Like when you're evaluating talent, you're evaluating individuals. You're not evaluating who they play with. If that's the case, you wouldn't have no small school athletes at all get drafted in the draft. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
You would just draft guys from the major Power 5 conferences. Like, and we all know that that's not always the case.
No, that's what I said though. I agree with you on that. I'm not looking at it for I'm talking about what they've done and what they've contributed to the team. When we talk about Zach, like I said, BYU has done nothing. They didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. It was kind of, I mean, yeah, he makes plays sometimes, but he's not a difference maker. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he's not going to have a
and I can't even argue with you because again, I haven't seen the dude play. I've seen highlights, but I can create a highlight out of anybody and be impressed with a 5-minute clip on YouTube. Like anybody could do that. I've seen highlights of the dude, like from things that I saw. I was like, oh shit, yeah. And I'm sure if I saw YouTube highlights of Justin Fields and I never saw any of his bad performances, like I'd be like, oh shit, like this dude is raw as fuck. Like
I'm gonna say this.
Anybody could do that.
I'm gonna say this about Justin Fields. I hope he falls in the draft because I believe he is a lot better than what they say they are, but I want to see that like almost immediate. So I want him to fall to a team like New England or
please don't.
Carolina
or Atlanta.
If he goes to New England, if he goes to New England, he's gonna be the greatest quarterback to ever live. You just know that.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought that. Yeah, I agree.
He can go to Atlanta. If he drops to Atlanta, that'd be great. Like all the weapons that they got here, they get a good a new hire for the head coach position and GM. Like we'll see what happens, but I want him to be like in a situation where like this is a steal in the draft because a lot of motherfuckers they talked him out of it. So you got to accept where he at. He's not. I don't think I'll be surprised if he's top 5.
I think he'll be the 3rd quarterback taken. I think they've hyped up enough of Zach Wilson that somebody's going to take him because they may fit his system, optics, whatever. I think Fields may fall. He's had some ups and down games.
And depending on who you read, there's people that are skeptical on Zach Wilson from off the field stuff. He has a lot of the Rosen stuff that people didn't like with Rosen. He's rich. His uncle owns JetBlue. There's a
That's
lot
the
of
off
people
the
that
field
have those
issues that
knocks on.
white people get.
Yeah.
White people's off the field is too much money.
That would say, do you want it enough? Type shit.
Black folks off the field issues, they ain't got enough. And so they go out.
They still crab legs.
Still crab legs.
And I don't want to make it seem like I just completely dislike Justin Wilson, like Justin Fields. Like I like Justin Fields.
Do you?
Have I seen Justin Fields and been like, oh yeah, this dude is legit? Like trade up your whole franchise to go draft Justin Fields? No, he's not that level. But he's been frustrating to me because there's been games that I've seen him play where he's just been amazing. And then there's been other games, Indiana, Northwestern. I even thought the game last year against Clemson, I didn't think he was that great. I thought he made some plays, but I don't think he was that great in the game against Clemson last year. He's been frustratingly bad, like overthrowing, bad throws, bad decisions.
Thought he said he didn't hate him.
To me, that's the part that frustrates. He's a very frustrating prospect to watch because there's things on tape that you watch from him that you absolutely love, and then there's things on tape that you're like, damn, really? Like, really?
Which one is it, Manny? Do you like him or not?
I'm in the middle. And I'm in the middle.
All right, man. We heard enough of him shitting on black quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're about to say we're done with that. Let's get back to shitting on the white man.
Now I'm shitting on black quarterbacks. I love Michael Penix Jr. from IU. I love that kid.
All right, don't be he just name dropping now. He pulled that, bro. Manny, wash your hands. Quit pulling shit out your ass. Damn, shit. I got one question before we get to the
Dwayne Haskins coming out of Ohio State. That shows how much I know. I'm not an expert.
Justin Fields is better than Dwayne Haskins.
Yes, he is.
That's not saying much.
He's got more physical tools, but you can't tell me Dwayne Haskins didn't ball out in Ohio State and he didn't open eyes.
He did.
No, he really did. He really did. But
you'll get a chance to see him up close and personal, Shelton.
Say it again now.
I said you'll get a chance to see him when he come to Carolina.
Don't say that.
You're gonna be a fan then.
Justin Fields may be a Panther while you're playing. I keep saying it. I think Justin Fields may fall to Carolina.
If he does, he'll be a bust.
That's the end. We'll never hear from him again.
I don't think Justin Fields falls out of the top 10. I think he will be a top 10 quarterback, and I think he'll be a top 10 pick.
I think he'll fall out of the top 5. Yeah,
I put it this way: the Jets are gonna be sorry if they pass on him.
Hell no, he'll be happy they pass on him.
Solid, man. That guy's too solid, man. He's a solid guy. I mean, this year I look at this year kind of like, especially for a team like Ohio State, you got to think about it. This team wasn't even prepared to play football at the beginning of the year. They thought they weren't playing football, period. So a lot of the things that they went through and the struggles that they had, I kind of blame on the COVID situation for them. Then they missed a couple games. How many games did they end up playing?
They missed they only played in 6 games.
They only played like 7 games.
Counting the playoffs.
So
they canceled the Michigan game. They didn't play Wisconsin.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like they had a lot of stuff going on. So for them to make it through the season, that took a lot of moxie and determination on them, period. Anyway, and it had to take a mental toll on that team. But to me, when I looked at him, he just passed the eye test. Like I said, he missed some throws. You're right about that. But when I watched him, I saw a guy that was poised, and I saw a leader. He was always relaxed. Even the Indiana game, he just didn't seem bothered. He made some mistakes, of course.
You can really tell his teammates love him too.
Yeah, they do.
Were you winking when you were watching these games? Did you have one eye open? My thing is, you can't advocate to play for the season and then play like shit at parts throughout the season, which is what he did. We want to play. We want to do this, that, and other. I guess because he thought it was going to hurt his draft stock. Playing hurt his draft stock.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
Let's move on, bro. I'm tired of
To a point. I mean, kid's not wrong. To a point, it did.
He ain't wrong.
There's a lot of people that feel like when your draft stock is at an all-time high, don't come back for a senior season if you're a junior because all is going to happen is people are going to start dissecting and overly dissect. Like even Andrew Luck, who was one of the best quarterback prospects to ever come out, there was a lot of people that felt he should have left after his junior year because even his senior year at Stanford, people were like, "Oh well, he's too white," or he has an ugly beard, so that may affect his throw. Like they were just coming in with nothing to criticize. Like, yo, just say the dude is solid and that's it. I'm surprised it didn't happen with Trevor Lawrence this year, where somebody concocted a reason why Trevor Lawrence isn't the guy that most people should be picking at number 1.
It's the hair.
All you can do, the more you play, the more you actually hurt your draft stock. It's kind of crazy that way.
Well, shit. I know another motherfucker who hurt right now. and that's Doug Peterson.
Old Doug.
Surprised that he got fired?
Well, there's one person on the show who isn't surprised that he got fired, which I've been telling you guys in the chat. Dougie is done. Dougie is done.
Doug ain't fresh no more.
Dougie ain't fresh no more.
I'm starting to feel like Doug has Adam Gase vibes. Not the incompetence, because I think Doug Peterson is Vince Lombardi compared to Adam Gase. Like, it's not even close. But that attitude, like, you can't be a coach and be like, you can be a coach and be an asshole, but
you know why he's saying
there comes
this.
a point where
you know why Manny's saying this? Because Doug got ties to the Jets. He trying to talk shit about him now. So when he get hired, he gonna be like, I told these niggas not to hire. I know you, Manny. Like, don't act like I don't know you now. Shit.
I don't want Doug Peterson at all. It sounds from reading the tea leaves like Robert Saleh's gonna get the job. So it sounds like, but whatever. It's still the Jets, and there's still 24 hours in a day. So at that 23rd hour, Chris Johnson and the other idiot can do something stupid to fuck it up. But as far as Doug Peterson goes, man, I'm honestly not surprised after everything that has come out and all the rumors that are being reported. Like, I'm surprised it didn't happen in season. Like that relationship really deteriorated that badly over the last couple years. Like assistant coaches being fired that he didn't want to fire, and actually one of my boys knows one of the ex-coaches on the Eagles, and he basically told him, was like, yo, I'm surprised it lasted this long, because really after the Super Bowl, shit just went downhill. Like, basically it was a power struggle between Peterson and Roseman. So,
okay.
Take of that what you will.
Well, look, I think he was in a bad situation. Carson Wentz was playing like shit. He didn't want to. I still believe he didn't want to bench Carson Wentz.
He didn't.
But I feel like he was listening to people like Shelton and decided to put Jalen Hurts in, thinking that it may do something. He ain't do shit. We know that now. He ain't do shit, Nick.
We don't know. He could have won. He could have bounced the Washington football team out the playoffs.
But he didn't. So it didn't do shit. Because the team was bad, which is something that we were saying in the chat all year. It's not about the quarterback. Yeah, Jalen can run around and do good things, but that team was bad. Nevertheless, there was no way he was going to survive this season. And then to go do what he did against Washington, that sealed his fate. Because it embarrassed the organization. The NFL was embarrassed. And then listening to ex-NFL players talk about the locker room and how he may have lost the locker room and stuff like that. And then about Carson Wentz asking to be traded and he don't have a relationship with Doug Peterson. All that stuff just went against him. But I think the thing that really nailed it for him, that really got him out of there, was that game against Washington. Regardless of whether he announced it up front and maybe now it seems like Lurie didn't sign off on it. Or maybe he did. I don't know. But whatever.
Yeah, Lurie signed off on it.
Okay, well.
Roseman and Lurie are tight, man. But I blame Roseman more than I blame Doug Peterson's team together. And that team just completely is a different organization than they were when the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, their skill receivers, like their skill positions are, outside of Miles Sanders, are just bad. Like, they don't have great wide receivers at all. They could have drafted Justin Jefferson. They chose Rieger. That was a mistake. Hell, even Chase Claypool. They could have had Chase Claypool when they chose Rieger. So
the thing about it is everybody knew that was a mistake.
He's not better
when
than Claypool or Justin Jefferson. Like, their offensive line is shit now. Like, Peters is old. Like, and then Lane Johnson never plays. Like, literally never plays.
And he was the one talking the most shit after they won the Super Bowl.
Hey, boy, he went on a tour with Dougie B.
He did, man.
He sure did.
Yep.
Yeah, Peterson was a scapegoat. That's all it was.
Yeah, he was.
There's no other way to put it. He was a scapegoat. And I think that was a knee-jerk reaction. And I think that they let him go because the players started speaking out on that last game. I think that they realized that they were losing the team at the last minute when Sanders, I think, was the one that came out and was saying they weren't in support of changing quarterbacks that last game, and how the team was upset about that. I think that they had to do something, or the locker room was lost.
So, when the running backs say some shit, that's when it's a wrap.
Yeah, and he said it out loud. Like, he didn't say it in house. He said it out loud. Like, we ain't like that. So that lets you know it was deep.
But I kind of feel like they're in a worse off situation now.
That's why I'm surprised. Cause like
They are.
I thought
Because
that
now go ahead, my bad.
I was gonna say I thought that Dougie P, because of all the decisions that was being made, like it was above him. Like I think that, and for him to take those bullets like he did, because he could have talked shit on his way out if things was like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess he took the high road and was like, fuck it, I'm thinking about the next job, because I did just win a Super Bowl against Bill Belichick 3 years ago that a lot of motherfuckers still remember.
Frank Reich
with the backup QB. Shit, it's on his resume too.
Let's not talk about Frank Reich.
Yeah, we gonna get to Indy.
20 years.
We gonna get to Indy. But now I was surprised, because I thought that because he took the bullets, it was like, all right, we did this goofy shit. You gonna eat it, but we'll keep you along. We may have to move it. Like I thought it was him. Like how the Pats chose Belichick over Brady. I thought they were choosing him over Carson. But I guess I'm wrong, because and then I thought about it, like that paycheck is like, we can't just divorce this motherfucker. Like that's half the house and the kids and the cars and all that shit. Like it's cheaper to keep him.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that was a reaction. Like I said, when those players came out like they did, I thought that I believe that's right off in the sunset. Get this postseason done and get on to next year and figure out what they were going to do. The players wasn't having it, so the players speaking out kind of just changed everything.
I also think Jalen Hurts not playing up to the level that he should have played, or many people expected to play. I mean, depending on where you are on the Jalen Hurts camp. Basically, Jalen Hurts kind of being an incomplete from a grade perspective. I also think that hurt Doug Peterson, because at Jalen Hurts, like had he put in Jalen Hurts and that gamble works, and Jalen Hurts balls out those last 3 or 4 games that he plays, the Eagles win, at least the Eagles go 2-2 or something like that. I feel like Doug Peterson has more of a say. Like, look, this is what I did, with Jalen Hurts. Keep me here. I can. We tinker with the offense. We do a couple different things, and maybe we could take this to the next level with Jalen Hurts. Like with Jalen Hurts, kind of being, I don't know what grade I would give him. To me, I would give him a C. Yeah, I think that and almost in a way kind of made that decision a little bit easier, even though I still think they're in a worse off situation now than they were had they kept fucking. Because now you're in a situation where now you got a quarterback controversy. Now you got 2 quarterbacks. Now you're bringing in a coach who has no loyalty to any of these dudes. Because he might want to bring his, like, let's say you bring in a Robert Saleh. Just use a name, pick a name out of a hat. Robert Saleh. He has no loyalty to a Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts. He may want to bring his own guy in. Now you're stuck with 2 quarterbacks, one who's making a lot of money that has diminished value. So you're in a situation now where, do you keep Carson Wentz or do you trade him? And even if you decided to trade him, like, are you comfortable trading Carson Wentz not knowing what you have in Jalen Hurts? Like,
yeah, it's messy.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a. Yeah. I will say, regardless of how that situation plays out, because Manny, you just threw up a bunch of shit on the wall. They damn happy about that Super Bowl. All that shit is worth it if you get a ring. Honestly, I think any franchise who hasn't won in the last 25 years would be like, I'll take all that bullshit just to have a title.
The Jets haven't won a Super Bowl in 53 years. Like, shit, I'll take a Super Bowl and then give me 20 years of dysfunction. I'll take that damn Super Bowl though.
Hey, Trey 5 in the chat just said it best. Hurts still played better than Wentz with the same players, and Hurts was a B-. I think he would have won the second game, man, if they had kept him in the last game. So, yeah, he's still better than Carson. I don't care what nobody say.
I don't know. I'm not gonna go that far. Jalen Hurts is better than Carson Wentz. I'm not gonna go that far.
He played better than Carson this year.
He played better than Carson Wentz, and that's an indictment on Carson Wentz. But are you willing to go to Vegas and sell your life's fortune?
He didn't play that much better than Carson Wentz. All he did was run more than Carson Wentz.
No, Jalen woke up the dead. That team is through, and that team started playing ball. Once again, and you know how you know?
How many times they die how many times they die under Jalen Hurts as a starter? 3.
He said they woke him up. He didn't say they wasn't zombies.
3. They put the little pass on him. They start beating for a minute, and then they died again 3 more times.
The game that gave Jalen Hurts a career is the Saints game. He balled out against the Saints, and then he balled out in defeat against the Cardinals.
Yes, he
Those are
did.
the 2 real games that Jalen Hurts has to his credit.
Shit, he only played 3. Motherfucker, that's good to
He
me.
played 4.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 out of 3.
Four, 3.5.
I thought he played a 4th game.
Nah, he got pulled.
No,
So,
he played 4 because he played Saints. Who did they lose to the 3rd game? The Cowboys.
yeah, it was against
I
the
think
Cowboys. It was
Yeah,
Cowboys.
the Cowboys, right?
beat him. And then the 4th game they lost. He started, but he didn't.
He was bad against Washington. He was
Thank you.
bad against the Cowboys.
He scored 2 touchdowns.
He was 7 of like 20, bro. And he
I
had
mean,
like
the
8. He had like 13
For
fumbles.
a rookie to come in
The
during that
man is still
situation.
a rookie. That's what I was about
Yeah,
to
like,
say.
I
This is a
don't-
rookie year. They all went through their lumps and bruises. Everybody goes through them. I'd rather go through it with him than go through it with a player.
So you're in the camp of trading Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think they
For sure.
should. I think they should to reset their cap.
I think
I
they should
think-
because they blowing the
football
team
decision.
up. They're literally blowing the
Yeah.
team up.
And I think the players are too, because they wouldn't have been that upset if they were Carson supporters when they pulled Jalen. Did you see how upset those guys got?
Because they
Like,
were
why
trying
were
to
they
win
so
the
mad?
game, and Carson Wentz was inactive. So yeah, I'll be
well,
upset.
They were upset because I think they still were in support of Carson. I mean, in support of Jalen. I don't see where.
So I think it was in support of Jalen, and I also think it was like the sham of it all. Like, yo, we got a game to win against our rival, and you put in a Nate Sudfeld. Like, the whole Nate made no sense to me. Oh, we want to see what Nate Sudfeld has. Like, he's been in the organization for 4 years. He's been in 4 preseasons. If you don't know what Nate Sudfeld is now, like, you're never gonna know.
Yeah, it
One thing
wasn't
you
in
learn
support
from
of Jalen. It was in outrage of Nate Sudfeld.
I think it was more, I think it was 50-50. I think it was in support of Jalen Hurts. Like, damn, this kid has done enough to at least warrant playing this final game and having a chance to win with him. But I also think it was the Nate Sudfeld. Like, the Nate Sudfeld thing was stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna buy. I'm not buying that was solely a Doug Peterson thing.
I could be wrong, but y'all let me know if I am or not. Were they that outraged when they went to Jalen?
No.
So the players were in support.
Miles Sanders said some shit.
Because it's not Nate Sudfeld. Like,
I'm just what I'm asking though is, were the players like, we want to stick with Carson, or was everybody
the players, if you read the tea leaves and if you go off of Miles Sanders' comments, Jalen Hurts gave him a joke. Now, we all know that shit only lasts a little bit, right?
Thank you.
Like, now, if Jalen Hurts plays 12 more games and he's awful, that joke just goes out the window. Then it doesn't mean anything.
It went
Then
out
it's just
fast.
then it's just another bad quarterback playing on a bad team. Like,
Which
so
it looked like to me. And there were some players that didn't like.
It's still too early for Jalen Hurts. Like, I'm not going to
It's
say
never
he made a
too early.
determination one way or another on him, but I'm not sitting here saying that, oh yeah, we know what Jalen Hurts is going to be. Start basically fitting him for a fucking yellow jacket in 20 years. Like, I'm not going that far.
Well,
Right.
there were some players that were not happy with the Carson Wentz benching. A few of them were on record, but so it wasn't like
It's a
it was
53-man
100%.
roster. You're not gonna
Yeah.
have every man on that roster
I mean,
lockstep. I feel
tell
like
Shelton that.
it's gonna be split.
Shelton asked the question.
Yeah, I did. I was just wondering because I couldn't remember. It was Fletcher Cox. Somebody said it. I remember Fletcher Cox did speak out. I don't remember too many people saying much though, like on the offensive side of the ball. So I was just trying to see.
I think Miles Sanders was the biggest kind of like pro Jalen guy. But you also got to think about it. A lot of the guys, like a Fletcher Cox, he was there with Carson Wentz. He went through a war with Carson Wentz. He could have won a Super Bowl with a Carson Wentz. So I think that, he's going to be loyal to his guy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the playoffs.
Hold on. Before you move on. So do you think Doug Peterson gets another job? And if so, this year or next year? For sure.
He'll get one. I'll say guaranteed by next year.
Yeah, next year because it's too late. If he had got let go during the season, it'd be this year.
What they said.
What you think?
I think next year. The only team that I think really will, I don't know. I think the Chargers may be interested in him too.
Yeah, I don't think it's too late. I think he can get a job.
I think it's too
now.
late. I think it's perfect timing. They fired him a week after Black Monday. So realistically, it's not too late at all.
It's not.
And plus, all the interviews are being done through Zoom anyway, so it's not like you got to travel and go here, go there. Plus, a lot of these teams aren't going to hire dudes till some of the candidates like a Brian Dable and Wink Martindale and all that, they got to wait till they finish playoff games before they can even take a job anyway. So I think it's possible he can get a job. Again, everybody's gonna make the connection with the Jets because him and Joe Douglas work together. Everything that you're reported here depends on who you read. I know y'all ain't in New York like that, but all the papers in New York are saying, slow down. That's not exactly, a thing. Like, they'll probably bring him in for an interview, but it's not a guarantee that he's going to get the Jets job. Robert Saleh's getting a second interview, so there's a lot of rumors that he might be the guy to coach the Jets. We'll see. I can see a sleeper pick. I can see the Chargers. Doug Peterson being a quarterback whisperer, quote unquote. They have Herbert there. To me, there's a match there, I think.
All right. We'll see. But yeah, as we moving on to the NFL playoffs, I do have our tallies for our last week picks. Manny, you wasn't able to do it last week with us, but you'll be able to do it this week. Tied for first, me and FIFO.
Wait, what happened with me?
You are tied
last?
for last with you and B. Yeah, you and B.
Damn.
I can't. I'm
Shelton,
terrible at picking.
Shelton, you was 500.
I am too, man.
So we'll see how y'all do this upcoming weekend.
Well, okay, so I got the Steelers wrong. Sunday was nail in the coffin. Sunday killed me because I think I got every pick wrong on Sunday.
Yeah, it was like
except one.
Because I can go through, but we all picked Buffalo, so that was we all got that one, and I think we all picked Those are the only two. Everything else was like everybody had an upset with the Rams. Tampa Bay, me and you flopped on.
I wasn't gonna pick
Baltimore.
Brady.
I'm surprised you ain't go with Lamar, but
I didn't.
Nah.
What piece did I miss?
What was I smoking?
But you did go with the Browns. I think me and you were the only ones that went with the Browns. No, me and FIFA.
The only pick I should have missed was the Browns.
I picked the Browns.
No, you didn't. You picked the Steelers.
Oh, okay.
You and B said like you supporting Mike Tomlin. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I get you. But yeah, it was just a random weekend. Like a lot of shit just where.
How did I pick against
Nick,
Lamar?
what did I miss, Nick? What the Browns game?
You picked the Bears. You switched on it, but then you went back to the Bears because we called you out on it. And
yeah, I remember that.
You missed Seattle. Everybody. What else?
We all missed Seattle.
And I
missed the Browns.
I think you missed the both. I think you picked the Titans.
No,
you didn't. You picked Lamar. No, you picked Lamar. It was one of these games. Another one you missed.
I missed on the Bills. No, I picked the Bills. I picked the Seahawks, and I picked the Bucks. And then on Sunday, I picked the Saints. I picked Pittsburgh, and I picked the Ravens. So.
Oh no. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was okay at that part.
Hey, we got a super chat too, real quick, and I know you're gonna get to the playoffs because we can start with this one if you want to.
Go ahead.
It's from Weedham Boys. Appreciate you, Weedham Boys. Mike Jason Garrett Tomlin is the reason why the Steelers lost.
Hey,
y'all need to cut that shit out. Y'all need to cut that shit out. I ain't gonna go as far as calling him Jason Garrett,
but Mike Tomlin did not. Mike Tomlin did not distinguish himself. Let's just put it that way.
No.
You saying they taking away from the white man?
We're not doing this. Yeah, let me put my phone down.
Here we go.
Did Tomlin have 5 turnovers in that game?
Thank you.
You're right.
That's the end of the story right there for me.
Ken, he did not have his team ready to play.
Oh, here we go.
When your team comes out of the locker room and they're not prepared to play.
Example, please. Example.
That's on the coach. That's on the coach.
Example. How can the Steelers not be ready to play against the fucking Browns?
They weren't ready to play. They were down 28-0 in like the first quarter. Come on.
How did it happen, Manny?
I love Mike Tomlin.
I'm not. This is not about you. But how did that happen? How did they go down 28-0? Did Tomlin hike that ball over Big Ben's head? I don't think so.
No.
Did Tomlin throw 3 interceptions in the first half to make them be down 28-0? Come on, man. How is that not being ready to play?
Do you think the Steelers were ready to play?
Yes, but I think it's hard for them to overcome 4 turnovers by the quarterback. Name me a team that can overcome 4 turnovers by a quarterback.
Okay, even if I give you that one, even if I give you that, like even if I say you're right, you win on that. When the game got close, so I think they outscored since going down 35-7.
I was gonna say they had a shot.
I think they outscored Cleveland 22-3 in the second half at one point, and they had a 4th and 2.
4th and 1.
I think on a 4th and 1 on their side of.
On their side, yes.
4th and 1. You're like you need points in this situation. Like you're still down 2 possessions. Like you punt.
The strongest part of his team was starting to wake up, which was the defense. And I think that was a gamble that he took, thinking we're gonna be able to stop them. We'll get the ball back and we can move. They still had a chance to win the game. I would have went for it, but evidently
I wouldn't
that
have.
shows you, the only reason I would have is I just would have took the gamble. But he has no confidence in the run game. They have no running game.
They have no running game.
So in Big Ben's arm is shot. He had no confidence. But it's an offense period. He put it in the hands of defense.
Look, if we doing a pie chart, Big Ben gets a large percentage of the blame. But Tomlin doesn't have some sort of culpability too, though.
But you opened with Tomlin didn't have his team ready to play.
Because somebody brought it up. Like, I'm gonna open with whoever the super chat. He brought it up, so we have to talk about it.
He called him Jason Garrett. We should refund him his money.
I said I wouldn't go that far. Tomlin has a Super Bowl ring. Could have easily had a second one. Jason Garrett, outside of being a backup quarterback, hasn't sniffed a Super Bowl title.
Man, I saw a lot of I saw a lot of that disrespectful rhetoric in the chat, and you're lucky I have my computer. I'll ban all of y'all.
Listen, I love Tomlin. Tomlin's a hell of a coach, but I'm not gonna sit here and defend everything he does because he's a black man. Like I love the dude, and I love the brother. He's a hell of a coach. He's one of our pillars, like in a league where we don't have enough black coaches.
This your second one, man. And you started with Justin Fields. Now you're on my.
We only allowed 3 on the episode, Manny.
Okay,
we only allowed 3. You say something about Lamar, you get cut off.
Listen, Mike Tomlin is Vince Lombardi. He's Bill Parcells, all rolled into one. He's the greatest coach ever. I will never criticize him again.
Manny came out here hot. He was like, he had his team up prepared. I'm like, bruh, Maurice Pouncey hardly ever does that. Pouncey's a 9-time Pro Bowler. He hardly that was just a shit show. Like all the shit that could have gone wrong for the Steelers went wrong.
But Nick, that part of that is also on coaching. Like that's coaching. That's getting your guys ready. That's getting your guys from a mindset perspective. Like, yo.
Everybody fuck up.
They're gonna be motivated.
Everybody fuck up, Manny.
The whole franchise had a terrible performance, right? Quarterback, defense, the coaching, everything. Like it was. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna put the entire. Like Ken is acting like, oh, it's just Mike Tomlin and that's it. Nobody else is culpable. Of course, the players at the end of the day play. They bear the large majority of the.
It's Big Ben 90%,
bro.
It's Big Ben 90%.
90.
And I said as I had to rewatch some of the episode to do the picks, but as I said this shit, I'm gonna give credit to myself. Every now and then you got to. I said the reason why I was picking the Browns is because the Steelers have no run game and Big Ben throws picks. You put the ball in his hands, he gonna come around. He gonna lose 2, but give you 5, something like that.
Yeah.
Look. There's no reason to me that the Steelers could have lost, but I expected if the Steelers lost, it'd have been a close game. Browns figure out a way to keep it close. Win on a field goal. There's no reason why the Steelers should have been dominated the way that they have been by the Browns. There's just no reason to it.
We saw who the Steelers were.
They were down 2 all-pro players, basically, in Denzel Ward and Joe Batoni, right? They're missing their fucking head coach. Like, their head coach can't even have contact with the entire team. And
they didn't practice all week.
They didn't practice all week, and they come out and destroy. They don't just beat you. Mm-hmm. They destroyed you.
You don't have to practice when they're giving you the ball to practice on the field in real time. That's exactly what he was doing.
Get somebody that supports you and is loyal to you as Ken is loyal to Mike Tomlin.
Let's not. This is not absolute loyalty. I've been on this show and I said the Steelers are not a good team. I also said in the chat the Steelers showed us who they were the last 5 games. This shouldn't have been a surprise. I went pro brother. I'm surprised I really didn't pick Lamar. But I went pro brother in this one. I believed in the storied franchise history and that fact that the Browns were the Browns. There were a lot of things going against them. No coach, couldn't practice.
Yep.
So yeah, they should have won the game until this white until this white guy
Calm down, Keg.
until Big Ben
We got kids watching.
until Big Ben went out there and Mike Pouncey until they turned the ball over 5 times. That's tough, man. That's tough.
Yeah, absolutely, it's tough.
Yeah.
That's why you can't put all the blame on Tom.
He said it at the end of the game. He told Pouncey, man, I'm sorry, man, this is my fault. And it was. I mean, like you said, that man turned that ball over that many times. And Mike Tomlin does deserve some of that blame because the team did look shell-shocked. But at the same time, he deserves a lot of the credit because he had that sorry team 11-0. I mean, how dare this team have the audacity to be 11-0 as bad as it was? And like we said, no running game. 11-0?
Well, they also suffered some crucial injuries that I think a lot of people have ignored. They did lose. They lost. They had a lot of injuries, especially to that. The best defense. And once they started losing guys off that defense, I think it really hurt that team. Were they as good as the 11-0 team? No. But were they as bad as they were the last 3 or 4 weeks? No, I'm not going to sit there. I think they're closer to that 11-0, but that they are that bad team that they showed, especially on Sunday. But yeah, man.
I think they're somewhere.
Big Ben, man.
Yeah, I think they're somewhere in the middle. But I do think that, I mean, everything for me sometimes is the law of average, as we know. And I think, we saw that happen towards the latter part of the season. It's time for Big Ben to retire.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think we need to definitely give some credit to the Browns.
I was going to say, did the Browns find their new savior? Is Baker Mayfield, has he arrived?
Baker and Stefanski?
No. Stefanski's the savior. Baker Mayfield is their Jeff Garcia. Stop with this. Like, Baker Mayfield, look, I watched the Browns against the Jets, and I know that they were missing receivers and whatnot. Baker Mayfield still does not impress me. I don't think he's a big-time quarterback. Can you win with him? Yes. If all the pieces are in place, can Baker Mayfield be good enough to win you a playoffs game, maybe compete for a division? He's a good, solid quarterback. That's it. He's not a superstar. He's not a guy. He has more commercials than he has talent, I think. So he's okay. But look, this isn't the week to knock the Browns. The Browns deserve all the credit. This was their Super Bowl.
You already knocked them.
I knocked Baker. I knocked Browns. No, the Browns as a whole, man, that franchise deserves a lot of credit. First of all, they've been through hell and back. And to finally beat the Steelers, because I think they had lost like 13 straight games at Heinz Field or something like that, something crazy like that. And for them to win the ultimate game, or at least one of the ultimate games in a playoff game in Heinz Field, to break that streak, make the playoffs for the first time in 18 years, have the season that they had, credit to the Browns, man. Lose the guys that they lost and still come out and outplay the Steelers in their home stadium. Yeah, credit to the Browns, man. And they got a good coach, man. Stefanski's a hell of a coach.
Stefanski's the guy. I think every single network, every single show, including this one, shitted on Baker Mayfield. I tried to give the brother, some bell here and there, and then I came to the conclusion that this guy just ain't it. But I was one of the few that believed that a coaching change could make a difference for Baker, and it did. So I think Stefanski and Baker are definitely a good pair. Sometimes quarterbacks need their coach, and he got one. We're talking about a number 1 pick that went to one of the worst organizations in NFL history. And in his 3rd year, not only did they go to the playoffs, they get their first playoff win. So he had a lot to overcome, including his own ego. And, he managed to do it. He turned it around. He cut down a lot of the bullshit. He still goes at Colin Cowherd deservedly. Sam Darnold ain't in the playoffs, is he?
Hell no, yeah.
Josh Rosen ain't in the playoffs. Is Josh Rosen even in the league?
I think he's out the league.
He's on San Francisco.
Okay. I think Sam needs a quarterback. A coach.
To be fair, too, the Browns have done, outside of the Freddie Kitchens hire, which is on Baker, because that was Baker's guy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to give Baker bouquets, take one away for the damn Freddie Kitchens hire because he's the one that foisted that motherfucker on the Browns to begin with. But that being said, the Browns have done everything right except for the Freddie Kitchens hire. Like, they built around him. They built a solid offensive line. They already had a defense. They already had pieces in place on defense, and they just kept adding to it. The offensive line, same thing. They gave him receivers. They did the common sense thing. They draft a young quarterback, and guess what, Jets? They actually built around the young quarterback.
Yeah.
Amazing, right? Novel concept.
Yep.
I mean, he had all the weapons in the world now. I ain't gonna lie. And what's big to note, though, is that losing OBJ was the turning point. That's when things kind of clicked for them.
I won't go that
far.
far.
On OBJ.
I'll say it's them trusting the run game. That's what it was.
I think it was. I think it was losing OBJ. I think it was them committing to Baker's not a guy that's going to win us football games by throwing 40. He's not that type of quarterback. And then committing to the run game and saying, look, the way we win is Nick Chubb and I forget his damn name now. Kareem Hunt being the lead guys.
Right. Play action, trusting your progressions and going through.
And they have better wide receivers. Like,
they have amazing wide receivers.
Like Landry, like everybody focuses on OBJ and even Jarvis Landry, but Higgins is a decent receiver. Donovan Peoples-Jones is good. Like, they have solid weapons.
Yeah, I haven't heard amazing yet.
Yeah, none of them dudes was.
Yeah.
You gotta ask Peoples about his Peoples.
There's not like these dudes are scrubs too.
Hey, no, their backfield is amazing. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
they're two of the best running backs in the league. Period. So that's
individually.
Right there.
Individually, and then you join them. I mean, Kareem Hunt can start on 31 other teams.
Kareem Hunt should be starting on one of those other 31 teams. I wish he was.
Exactly. Just imagine if Kareem Hunt was still on the Chiefs.
That's what I said. I said that a couple weeks ago, man.
That shit would be unfair.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt with the Chiefs would be unfair. Period. Because he was the best skill player on that team. To me, even better than Tariq Hill. Because he did more.
Put Kareem Hunt on the Steelers, they win that game.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since Cleveland won the game, they face Kansas City next.
Skull drug.
Do they have a shot?
Skull drug. Nah, I think Cleveland won their Super Bowl. I think beating Pittsburgh, winning a playoff game, the implications of that playoff game and the circumstances, winning it without their coach, winning it without their Pro Bowl offensive lineman. I think that was their game. I think what this year was about was building a foundation. I think they did that, and I think they could take what happens this year and go into next year and the year after. They have a window now to try to do something with Baker while he's on his rookie deal and all that. So I think the Chiefs hold serve, man. I don't think it's a domination. Like, I don't think they get destroyed. I was just joking on the skull drug thing, but I think it's a game that's, it's a competitive game for the first 2.5, 3 quarters, and then the Chiefs just do what the Chiefs do.
Yeah. Are we making picks now?
Yeah, we're doing picks too.
They'll probably lose by 14, 21 points. Now, look, don't listen to me because I said the Buffalo Bills are going to beat the shit out of the Colts.
Why you said that? That was the ultimate pick-em game. I don't know why you said that shit.
It shouldn't have been, but
the Colts should have won that game. I know we're going to get to it, but the Colts should have won that game.
But
they really should have.
But yeah, I think at some point, I think it'd be hard for the Bears to generate offense. But the Browns to generate offense. But if they're able to run the ball and kind of shorten the game, it could keep them in it. I still got Kansas City winning it.
He said all that to say that.
Yeah.
I'm going KC. I haven't seen Patty Mahomes. I feel like he's the only black man that hasn't let America down yet. So I'm gonna keep rolling with Patty until I see him lose, pretty much. So that's my pick. Who you got, Sheldon? You on the fence again?
No, it's straight up Kansas City. Good run, Baker. Good job this year. I'm gonna miss y'all, but bye.
Let's move to that Indy Buffalo game that Manny you was talking about. Did Josh Allen make you a believer?
Look, credit to Josh Allen, he did his thing. This game is on Frank Reich, man. I love Frank Reich. I think he's a hell of a coach. I think he's a hell of an offensive mind. But what the fuck was Frank Reich on Saturday afternoon? Like, just the play calling, the going for it on, the 2-point conversion, like just the analytic football. Like what the fuck was he on that day? Like, I don't know what, like, is Frank Reich always this, like, just chaotic? Like, I don't understand. Like, he called a horrible game. Horrible game. The challenges, like, he had some dumb challenges where he lost timeouts. I was just like, come on. And even as bad as Frank Reich was, and as average and pedestrian as Phillip Rivers was, they still should have won that game. They got the break of all time with the fumble that didn't get called. And they still should have went down and tied the game, and they didn't. I was disappointed, man. I had the Bills, but I was rooting for the Colts. And I think the Colts should have won. I don't know how anybody can watch that game on Saturday and not feel like the Colts should have won that game.
I didn't watch it.
They got the same arm. Both their arms are dead.
It's just a musket out there, man. It ain't going.
Yeah.
Nah, I watched that game. I did not expect the Colts to be that, like, to have a punch like that. Like, oh well,
good, man.
They were playing. They defense ready to win now. I'll say that.
Yes.
They defense is ready to win now, and that's why I hated to see that wacky inflatable quarterback they got throwing these ducks. And I'm like, bruh, to me, T.Y. Hilton should be a focal point in this offense. I hate how they just wait until the last minute when it's like a 3rd and 13 or a 3rd and 8 and above to go to him. He's your best playmaker on offense outside of now Jonathan Taylor. To me, the reason why the Bills won because they knew there was no real deep threat. They knew that Phillip Rivers was going to keep it short long if he needs to, but there's no real deep threat. They were going to try to run you to death, and that defense was holding up. But yeah, if they can just get a quarterback, I think this is how I felt about Chicago for the last 3 years.
Absolutely.
Get Carson Wentz.
If they get a solid,
or Watson.
They don't even need a great quarterback. If they get just a legitimate, good, solid quarterback, I think they could easily get to an AFC Championship game because they have everything. Drew Luck, I would argue they'd be in a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. He left at the wrong time,
and the Colts got great. It's just
wrong time.
I ain't gonna say they'd be in the Super Bowl now because you still got to get past Kansas City, but they would be contenders.
But they have a hell of a shot with an Andrew Luck at quarterback.
Yep. You got to match Patrick Mahomes with another great quarterback.
They have everything you want. They have a great running. They're great on both lines, defensive line and offensive line. Their offensive line, their defensive line.
Well, they lost their left tackle. He retired.
Yeah, he retired today. But you could replace that. Their secondary is really good. They now have skill positions. Jonathan Taylor, who I knew was going to be a stud, is a stud.
Yeah.
Pittman is a good pickup from USC. They still have T.Y., even though he's not the same receiver he used to be. They have a good, solid rotation of tight end. Like, that team has everything except the quarterback.
Yeah, we all agree with that. But Buffalo's going to the next round. They're facing the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we're going to focus on the Baltimore Ravens a little bit later. But Allen is concerned.
Oh, shit.
Is it the White Vic? Is White Vic versus Black Vic?
Stop with the White Vic, man.
White Cam Newton, man. Wham Newton.
Spam Newton.
Spam.
Nah, he's a better thrower of football. He's a better thrower of football than Cam's ever been.
Hey, man, damn. How many
that's your third one. All right, you out. I'll give it there. That's your third one.
He's a better thrower of football than Cam.
Ain't nobody's. Why you have to bring?
Now, I don't say he's White Cam. He doesn't have the athleticism and the strength.
But it was unnecessary. It was an unnecessary shot. It was unnecessary.
Listen, man. I love Cam.
No, you don't. You don't love anybody.
If this how you treat him when you love him, I hate to see you treat him when you hate him.
No, man, listen. It sounded like a diss at Cam, though. I don't compare him to Cam Newton. I think he's just he's a faster, more athletic Big Ben. That's what I look at Josh Allen. Like, he just has. Like,
see, that's
racist.
He compared him to another white man. Why can't he be compared to a black man, man? That's some racist ass shit.
You think that low of a black man? I gotta find somebody.
We promote equality on this show.
No, I love Cam. I'm just saying, I ain't trying to compare Josh Allen to him to be different. That's all. My point is, Josh Allen and Cam to me are different, but whatever. We'll go with White Cam for the sake of that.
And he picked the white man. Never mind.
Yeah, Josh Allen played well, man. He balled out. He's slowly making me a believer, man. He made some big throws and made some plays when they absolutely needed him. He was not the problem in Buffalo. I was unimpressed with the rest of the team. Like outside of Diggs and Allen, like and McDermott's a hell of a coach. I can't say enough on this show. McDermott is a hell of a coach, man. That dude.
They called him MAGA Manny in the chat.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. If you listen to my show, you know. Don't do that. I'm just saying, you can't compare Josh Allen to Cam Newton.
Nah, you good.
Two different quarterbacks to me.
Manny, to your point, kid's stupid. Manny, to your point, I was super unimpressed with Buffalo's defense. Buffalo's defense doesn't look like
they good.
I thought that their defense was a big focal point of how they've been winning games, but from the way they played the Colts, it was just, man, I was like, damn, like, because you hear about the corner, Tre'Davious White?
Mm-hmm.
You hear about him, I'm thinking they got some guys back there, but they really don't. Like, if you got a good run game, you could get through to them. So, and then you add, obviously we're going to get to the matchup with him and Lamar Jackson, but that's probably going to be the game of the week, because that's the game that's going, that white America and black America going to collide.
Yep.
It's going to be like the Falcons and the Pats in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But let's get to the other game that happened on Saturday night or Saturday evening was the LA Rams at Seattle. Man, are we underrating the Rams?
Yes.
That's the best defense in football, man. That defense is spectacular. I mean,
yeah, it was good.
And the thing about it is when they play, I think that Josh takes it personal to be matching up with
Russell.
Metcalf.
Yeah, Russell and what's
Metcalf.
DK.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he takes that matchup personal. I think the Rams take Seattle personal, period. So I think they play a little bit above themselves when they play Seattle. I'm not really trusting that offense like that. Of course, I think Jared Goff, like I said, I don't think they didn't even have enough confidence to start it. So I don't trust their offense at all. But
you got to
that
screw
defense,
his damn thumb. I wouldn't have confidence in starting them either.
I don't think it was his thumb. I think it was more his mind more so than his thumb, because he said he was ready to go. He said he was healthy,
and he got in too. But boy got karate chopped or something happened to his neck.
Boy,
he got hurt.
Jamal Adams tried to take his career out, bro. Like Jamal Adams popped him. He popped him in a way that was like a car accident.
Jared Goff, look, I'm not going to sit here and say Jared Goff is a great quarterback, but for all the shit that people talk about Jared Goff, the dude does win games, though.
I'm with you, man.
I know. The guy wins games. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback. You know, he's a lot like Eli Manning. He's frustrating to watch because there's moments where you see him and he's like, damn, this dude can make all the throws. You know, he's got the ability, and then he has other. I mean, he's Eli Manning. There's games where he goes out there and he has a quarterback rating that's just wonderful, and he just makes all the throws and makes plays. And then there's a game out there where he's 13 for 40 for 175 yards, and it's just like, is this the same guy? Like,
but
case in point, the NFC Championship game 3 years ago, and the Super Bowl performance, like just back-to-back situations, he just has a great game, and it's just a terrible game. So that's Jared Goff's career in a nutshell, right there. But all I'm saying is, for all the criticism he gets, the dude does win games. That's all you can ask.
I still think, like I said, I think I thought that spoke volumes, that this man would say that he's feeling good. And he played. He didn't seem like he was hurt at all when he played. But for them not to start him in a playoff game, that spoke volumes to what the organization thought about Jared Goff.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I won't go that far. Yeah. I won't go that far because to me, the Bengals, back when Andy Dalton when he had them 8-0, the reason why they had to switch out quarterbacks for AJ McCarron was because he broke his thumb in regular season. Like, he didn't start the rest of that season. So the fact that Jared Goff was even able to get back in the game, I was surprised, because I seen that thumb injury to another quarterback and he not come back. So that's why
he had a serious injury to his hand. Like, it's not like we can't ignore that.
Yeah,
and you could tell that he was still favoring the thumb. Like,
and he had a plumped ass thumb. It was like little boy blue. Like, that motherfucker was that thumb was big as hell.
For a quarterback, like, you can't grip the ball all the way. Like, that's an issue. So we can't ignore that. I think that there is something happening in LA where I think not everybody in the organization is a fan of Jared Goff. I'm not gonna go as far as to say that McVay and him have a rift, but I would say this: I don't think they would have won the game with Wofford, whatever the hell his name is.
I don't think they would have either. But I don't know how Nick brought Cincinnati in the conversation. I'm trying to figure that part out with anything, thumb or anything else to bring sense in.
This comes from a Charlotte Hornets fan. All right, all right. Ken, they said that I got on Twitter. They hit me up about you. They said @TreyStein_. He told me you need to tell Ken to put some respect on Aaron Donald's name next time you see him. So
For what? He didn't do shit.
man, Aaron Donald was, bruh. You ain't watched. Did you watch the game?
I did watch the game, and you know what I saw? I saw Aaron Donald come out the game because he couldn't breathe, and I saw that defense still fucking up Seattle. Am I lying?
I'm not gonna go. Hey, listen, Ken out here capping, but I will say this: that defense is just legit.
And it was just as good with Aaron Donald out the game.
Aaron Donald goes out, and they're still dominating Seattle. But I think that game was honestly, in a way, it was more about Seattle than it was about the Rams. To me, Kid, I know it's gonna make me sound like MAGA Manny now. All of a sudden, MAGA Manny, because I can't kill black.
It's official now, bro. We gotta hashtag it.
But I will say this: is it time that we start killing Russell Wilson?
You know, bro, Manny. You know why Russell ain't doing well? Because of Sierra. You know what I'm saying? It's the future curse.
No, it's not. That team had issues all year. Russell Wilson actually covers up for it. But yeah, we saw what that team truly was throughout the season. They started out hot. I got to look at their schedule, see who they beat. Maybe that was something to it. But they just weren't good,
honestly,
man.
They should have been 0-5, 1-4.
Yeah, they just were not good. Yeah,
close games that they probably should have won.
Yeah,
but that's what Russell is there for. That's what he's there
Russell
for.
was the Mike Tomlin of quarterbacks.
Look, Russell Wilson is a great quarterback, top 5, top 10 in the league. I'm just gonna ignore that damn comment. That damn thing that he just said.
Russell he thought he was slick with it too.
For a guy that is as good. For a guy
I got it with this one.
Damn show, man.
Right on.
He is, man. He had that team playing above where they were because of him.
Like I said, the Mike Tomlin quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Bro. Don't ever compare a coach to a quarterback to a coach.
You have to.
Please don't.
You have to. Mike Tomlin had a team above where they were, and so did Russell.
Listen, Russell Wilson is great. We all know that. The issue that I have with Russell Wilson, man, he has a lot of these games in big spots. Like, if we were willing to build a narrative on Lamar Jackson after what, 2 seasons, one of which he won a fucking MVP, we can't kill Russell Wilson in his 10th year.
He's got
in
the
the
Super
league,
Bowl.
1 Super Bowl, and he's had a lot of playoff clunkers. Not to mention the fact that he threw arguably the worst pass in Super Bowl history. Like
that's not his fault.
And this dude, and I'm passionate about this because I live out here, so I'm around a lot of Seahawks fans and Seahawks media. They never kill this dude. He never gets any heat. Aaron Rodgers gets more hate on Twitter and online for he's only won 1 Super Bowl. Oh, he's so great. He's only done this. Russell, what the fuck has Russell Wilson done?
It's because he's all they got, Manny. At least with the Packers, they had Brett Favre. The Seattle ain't got outside of Russell Wilson. Name me their greatest quarterback of all time. Man, what you going to Hasselback? Get the fuck come on.
Manny, this is number 4. You know that, right?
What's that?
I say this is number 4. You on Russell now.
Oh my God! I can't. You know what? I take it back, man. Russell Wilson is the greatest quarterback that has ever thrown a football.
I do understand what your frustration is because it is getting to that point. Like we keep saying he's top 3, top 2.
He gets a pass, man. Come on, yo.
But like, to me, it's just like he has carried this team like no other though. That's the only reason why I think he gets passes because people know that without him as a quarterback. How good is Seattle? Are they even a playoff team?
The last 8 weeks of this season, that team has completely fallen apart, and he has not played well. You got to be honest. He did not play well to end the season. He did not. He did not. Love the first 6-7 weeks of the season.
Yeah, he was.
And then look at his numbers. Then look at his numbers basically November 1st onward. Like, he was terrible. He was terrible.
Yeah, he was a lock at MVP.
Huh.
Like you
All
said before.
I'm saying is,
Mhm.
if we're gonna hold Lamar Jackson to a standard, and I know that was mostly white media types, but there was some black folks also going along with that narrative. But if we're gonna hold Lamar Jackson, and hell, there's people on Twitter that kill Aaron Rodgers when he has a bad game in the playoffs and say he's overrated and he's not that great. Russell Wilson never gets any heat at all, like at all. Can we at least a little criticism?
I think your ire is misdirected, Manny. Who lost that Super Bowl for Seattle, that second one against the Patriots?
I think it was Pete Carroll.
I think it was Pete Carroll too. Why haven't we said anything about Pete Carroll?
Oh, I always say something about Pete Carroll. I don't trust.
Well, if like you said, if Aaron Rodgers is going to get blamed and Lamar Jackson, if Tomlin's going to draw a lot of criticism, they never talk about Pete Carroll, bro.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
you know, if you're going to jump on Russell, you should have started with Pete Carroll first. Because I could argue that Russell Wilson is making Pete Carroll look better than he may actually be.
I think Pete Carroll's
I got to save us some MAGA, man. I got to save.
No.
Black Lives Matter.
There won't be no assault today.
No, man, listen.
This is not the
I think
Capitol.
Pete Carroll's low-hanging fruit. That's why I didn't go for that one, because I'm like, that's easy for me. I just feel like, and again, I'm not knocking Russell Wilson as a player. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. That's why I'm hard on him. Like, I know the level. Like, there's plays. I mean, even the throw to DK Metcalf, like that was just an incredible. So
what are you knocking him for?
Script that in a lab.
But what are you knocking him for then? What are you knocking him for? What are we criticizing him for?
The rest of the game. The rest of the game. Like, that's a game that you have to try to figure out a win. Like, they didn't get beat. They got destroyed. They got dominated.
Maybe it was a bad game plan by the coach and the defensive coordinator.
And look, I should probably cool off of Russell Wilson because they finally did the right decision and let Schottenheimer go, who's probably the worst offensive coordinator in football. Like, I don't understand why Brian Schottenheimer was still employed. Did they not watch Mark Sanchez all those years with the Jets? Like, that was a product of Brian Schottenheimer, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know. Like, so I know that a lot of it is also coaching with Russell Wilson, and he doesn't have a great offensive. But to me, a lot of it does fall on him, and he has a lot. For a guy as great as he is, he does have a lot of these performances. He has a lot of these performances where you have a playoff clunker. Where he'll just go out there and just throw three. I mean, that pick he threw that was a return for a pick six was just an awful throw. Awful throw. Like, what are you doing? Like, I just want Russell Wilson to face a little heat. I don't even want this shit to boil. I just want it to be on, like, low heat.
I don't want him to face anything. He's fine.
And I know he's a brother. I'm pro brother too. Even though y'all
How are you?
out here trying to slander my name. All I'm saying is I want everybody to be treated fairly.
I get you. They faced the Green Bay.
The Rams?
The Rams.
That's a good game.
Can Rodgers get past that defense?
Yes, he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they lose.
It's at home. I think if it was at LA, I think it'd be a little bit different. But I think at home in Green Bay, Rodgers is just different there than he is anywhere else. At home, I think Green Bay is going to be tough to beat just because they have home field advantage throughout the NFC. So I think they're just a different team in Lambeau. Even without fans, they're still a different team. I think it's going to be a close game. I think their defense keeps it close. Again, I just don't trust Jared Goff is healthy enough. And in a game like that, you have to match Rodgers, man. You got to either match Rodgers or play better than him. And I just can't see Jared Goff outplaying in this situation. I can't see him outplaying Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he does. But I just can't see it.
So who you got? You got Green Bay? Is that everybody's answer?
Is he moving? Is he locked?
Yeah, I got Green Bay.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Where are you?
I don't even know what the spread is, but I think it's a close game. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's a very evenly matched game, but I just think Green Bay just pulls it out.
You going with Green Bay too, Ken?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Green Bay because Goff did not look good in that game against Seattle.
Something tells me I want to go with defense, but when you the MVP of the year,
I would not be surprised if the Rams. I will say this: I would not be surprised if the Rams win. But I can't go against Aaron Rodgers. Man.
Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay. I trust Aaron Rodgers more than anything, but I've seen him get smashed by a defense literally just last year with the 49ers. So we'll see.
I saw him get smashed earlier in the season by a defense from Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, Tampa Bay. Speaking of Tampa Bay, we going to the nightcap for Saturday night.
Oh my
Tampa
God.
Bay at Washington.
The highlight of the game was Taylor Heineke to me.
Hey, I call that nigga Kaniki, boy. Yeah, my nigga was eating, boy.
He was at the Capitol.
He was
at the Capitol.
He stormed the Capitol. He was running on him though. He was running.
he said, "This is how you do it."
Well, no, Taylor Heineke might have done a better job at the Capitol. But anyway,
he's a MAGA. He's a MAGA. He's a red hat.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
can't be having boy. He got background checks on all white.
I don't even know who the hell is a MAGA supporter in it.
Look,
MAGA or not, that nigga was flinging that shit.
Yeah, probably just split them in half, man. And when you walk out, 3 or 4 white people you see are probably red hats. It's probably a little different where you at, but in Georgia, yeah, it's
Oh, I know. Yeah, it ain't that different because once you leave the city limits.
But no, he gave it his best. He gave it his best shot. And for a minute, I thought they might be able to get him.
They were only down by a possession.
Were y'all impressed with Washington? I mean, were y'all impressed with Tampa? Because I wasn't.
No,
not at all.
They look like they were going through the motions to me. It seemed like they go through the motions sometimes.
Chris Godwin was, no pun intended, god awful.
Yeah, well,
he had about 10 drops that were like right and like that's the best Brady's gonna put in your hands. And Brady came into the game talking about he got the best hands on the team. Arguably.
He said that about Godwin?
Yeah.
Godwin is nice though.
He is, but not that game. If that game relied on Chris Godwin producing.
Free agent, I think?
Huh?
And I think he's a free agent or a restricted free agent coming up.
Yeah, to me, if that game relied on him, we may be talking about a different results. But the main thing that I was watching, man, Chase Young couldn't do a goddamn thing against that offense.
I think they double teamed him.
They doubled them. They basically doubled them the entire game because their offensive line is not that great.
Nope.
But Chase Young they keened in on him. They double teamed him, and he couldn't really do much. And he's young too. He'll learn. He'll get better. So I'm not gonna. Chase Young is a stud. He's a superstar. Like that dude is gonna be. I saw him. I mean, I remember his first game in Ohio State. I was like, damn, this dude is a problem. So he's going to be a monster. Look, Washington's got some good pieces, man. But I just, honestly, the story to me, outside of Heineke, Kaniki, whatever you want to call him, I just wasn't that impressed with Tampa. Like, Tampa was just kind of blah. Like, they just kind of went through the motion. And I know it's hard to judge because they kind of play like a team that felt like, oh, we could just beat these dudes with the game. But I don't know. I just wasn't that impressed with Tampa, to be honest with you.
Look like,
and I know we're gonna get to this game either. We're gonna get to this game too, but I wasn't even that impressed with the Saints either.
Yeah.
Look like Brady and Brown is coming together though.
Man, hey, AB is still great. I know he's a fucking idiot and a knucklehead, but god damn.
Yeah.
AB is.
You know what's crazy? Have you heard anything from him though since he's been in Tampa? Because I ain't heard nothing from AB.
No, he has some stories.
He's still gonna try to get employed, and if he's not in Tampa next year, he's trying to stay somewhere else.
Nah, there were stories coming out like early on when he got there. That's why Bruce Arians didn't want to talk about. He didn't want to bring his ass on because he's dealing with something. I forgot, but it was early when he got there. But it's quiet out now. Obviously, because probably told the reporters chill out. Otherwise, I ain't talking to you.
Well, no, because the rift was that that Arians didn't want him on the team, but Brady did, and Brady. If you read the tea leaves, Brady kind of superseded Arians. So that was the little bit of the rift there. So I don't think it's anything AB has done. Like I think AB's been on his best behavior. I think it was like a blood deal, a drug deal in the back room. Like, yo, we'll bring this motherfucker on. The first minute he do anything out of pocket, like Arians got the right to cut him. So I think he's been on his best behavior, and he's been. I mean, from everything I've read, he said the right things and has done the right things. But AB's still great, man. God damn, that dude is still.
Nah, yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog. But I do agree with you, Manny. I wasn't really that impressed with Tampa. Everybody expected them to win, so it's just like for them to win only by that margin and keep the game that close. To me, that says a lot about their secondary. That was the main thing I was looking at. Not really much so what Brady and they were doing offensively, but defensively, like you're going against Drew Brees next week, and he may have He may be diminished, but he's still very accurate. And he can still get the ball where he needs to. And he still got Michael Thomas. And now he has Emmanuel Sanders. So still got Alvin Kamara running around, scatting around. So I haven't seen them beat them this season yet. Maybe third time's the charm, but I'm not really gonna give it.
Yeah.
We don't have to. We can just lump this in conversation in with the Chicago and New Orleans game, but they're at New Orleans. I think this game is already spoken for. Like I got New Orleans.
Before we get to a pick, can we talk about how fucking horrible Mitch Trubisky is? Like, this dude is the worst quarterback in the NFL. Like, let's be honest. Like, this dude, like Sam Darnold under Adam Gase is better than Mitch Trubisky, and I'll fight anybody on that. Like, Mitch Trubisky is fucking terrible. Like, he's terrible.
That defense did their absolute fucking best. I know towards the end they kind of collapsed a little bit.
They're wasting Khalil Mack's best years.
But to hold they held the Saints to 10 points or 7 points for the first 3 quarters.
That was a 7-3 game for what, 2 quarters, two quarters in the third. Like that should have. If they get even a solid quarterback performance, that's a closer game. Like Mitch Trubisky is fucking awful. Like, I know this is known. Like, I'm not breaking any news here, but like on Sunday was like, you know how you just have those realizations, like, damn, this motherfucker really is this bad. Because like I always used to be like, is he that bad? Like every time I've seen him, like, yeah, he's played bad, but is he really that bad? Like, no, this motherfucker's terrible. It's terrible. Trubisky is just awful.
Was Foles hurt or something?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have Nick Foles on the bench. Like, at some point, you got to say, damn, let me put Nick Foles in and see if we could just muster something.
That's what I thought they would have done. I thought maybe he was hurt or something. I was missing.
His game hurt. He wouldn't have been any better. Foles is
maybe not, but yo, it's better. It's better than subjecting America and the youth of America, especially, to watch Trubisky. Like,
did Trubisky start 4-1?
Y'all had little niggas on Nickelodeon watching Mitch Trubisky stink up the joint.
Yeah, you would have had
He
a better
said,
shot.
little niggas on Nick. Niggas on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Niggas on Nick.
You would have had a better chance.
That's child abuse to have to subject motherfuckers on Nickelodeon to watch fucking Mitch Trubisky, man. Like,
I think that was more so because they're ready to get rid of both of them. I think Manny, to your point, I think we brought this up last week too. The fact that they have this kind of defense with that offense is just a slap in the face to all the money that they spending on both sides of the ball. So I think,
and let's take Matt Nagy out of the Hall of Fame too. By the way, all I ever hear is Matt Nagy is this offensive guru, this genius. A guy that coached the offense on the Chiefs for 3-4 games, and all of a sudden got a head coaching job. But Eric Bieniemy, somehow still doesn't have a job, but Matt Nagy does. But don't get me started on that.
Yeah, I just think they need a free agent QB. If they can get Dak, maybe some stuff can happen. But I think they're trying to cash in on this defense. Otherwise, they're gonna have to blow up the team. Because it's
they can't, because they're already said they're already committing to bringing back Trubisky for his 5th year. His 4th year. They declined the 5th year option, but they're talking about giving him a short extension, kind of like Blake Bortles. I think what Jacksonville did with Blake Bortles after the AFC Championship run, where they declined the 5th year option, but they gave him a 2-year deal just to make amends or make it look nice or whatever. They're talking about the same thing with Mitch Trubisky. Yo, the fact is, Ryan Pace is still there, Nagy's still there, and Trubisky's still there. They're all tied together. They're all joined at the hip. So as long as those 2 guys are there, Trubisky's going to be there, for better or for worse.
I was going to say what RJ said. You need to figure out a way to trade for Deshaun. That's crazy. You at least give it a shot, man, by going to Foles at that point, because you had no chance with Mitch, and you saw that, in the first half. I would at least give him a couple series in the second half, but I would eventually pull the trigger and just switch him just to see what would have happened. You had nothing to lose.
Once that game was 14-3, I never saw a 14-3 lead feel like 40-3. Like, that's how it felt like watching that game and watching Mitch Trubisky. Like, they just once they scored and got up 14-3, you just knew the game was over. Like, Mitch Trubisky was not leading them down the field to do anything. So throw in Foles and just see. Maybe Foles gets lucky and that divine intervention steps in and he can muster something. Like we're just like watching Mitch Trubisky miss. And look, he wasn't helped. Wynn had one of the worst drops, I think, in the history of football. Like, to me, he should be benched just for that drop alone. Like, he should never play another snap again for that. Like, wide open in the end zone, he just completely goes through your arms. Like, come on, dog. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. We'll see.
And that being said, I wasn't that impressed with the Saints. I didn't think Drew Brees played a great game. Now, he got better as the game went along, and I think in the second half he started kind of, finding himself, and he made some good throws. But I wasn't that impressed with the Saints. Like,
I think he's good. He's good enough. I think at this point in time in his stage of his career with the injuries he's dealing with, he's good enough to get, like, as long as that defense is as strong as it is now, because I think they probably got the best defense, arguably, in the NFL as well. He's a good enough quarterback, accurate enough to get the ball where he needs to. And that's why, I mean, moving forward, like I was mentioning with the Tampa Bay game, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Who y'all got, though?
Tampa Bay.
I
think that game was not. We can't look at that last game from each team and say that's how it's going to go the next game. I think that Tampa was looking ahead to the Saints. The Saints beat them twice this year, and I think Tom Brady will be ready to play this game. I think he'll perform. I just think he will. It's playoffs, so that's what he does.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a team 3 straight times in a season, man, especially a division rival. My heart tells me the Saints. I don't know, man. I just got a funny feeling Tampa might beat them this time, man. Again, I can't say who I was least inspired by. I would say the Saints, honestly, because to me, I know Chicago's defense is legit, but honestly, I think Washington has a better defense than Chicago, and I just was not impressed with the Saints. And plus, I picked the Saints every year the last 3 years, and it disappointed me every single time. Like, literally lost money on the Saints for the last 3 years. I'm going to go with Tampa, man. I think Tampa finds a way.
Is this in New Orleans, right? This in the Dome?
At the Dome.
Yeah. I think the Saints gonna march it in, man. I think they do. Listen, Drew Brees old niggas this one. It's like he owes us this one. If there's one guy you need to beat Brady. You beat Brady, you'll go a long way to repairing your relationship with Black America.
Mr. My granddaddy's fought for this country.
Right.
Yeah, well, fight for New Orleans.
Right, exactly.
Fight for us. Nigga, get your ass up out there. Yeah, I'm picking the Saints.
Hey, I've said the last 3 years, man, Taysom Hill was the best quarterback for the Saints, man.
Jesus Christ. He's terrible, too.
And I have not been proven wrong. Taysom Hill, I played him in the game against Minnesota last year. So, I don't know. They might put in Taysom Hill. You might give him a spark.
We'll see. Last game of the playoffs that we're going to discuss that happened this past weekend, Baltimore at Tennessee. I think one of the best games. I was watching when y'all was recording this with Mike. It was a great game. I thought that
fans
go ahead.
In the stands too.
Yeah, fans in the stands. At least the first part of the game, I thought, damn, Lamar about to get his ass blown out. I was like, damn, I gotta face the music. But he pulled through, came back down 10. 10. Q was in the chat talking shit early. I was like, chill out. But my question to y'all
Go ahead, man.
I was like, my question to y'all is Lamar better this season than he was last season?
No, he's still not better.
I don't know about better, but he deserved this win, man. And the fact that they tried to, and even I bought into it somewhat because the record was what it was, but the fact that we made a narrative from this kid after 2 seasons that he couldn't win the big game, and he outplayed Ryan Tannehill in his building, literally took the game over. That run in the second quarter, that 45-yard run or whatever. I thought that was a play of the game that completely changed the game around, gave him momentum. And he was off and running from there, man. And I'm just glad Lamar finally won his game, man. And I think they're going to make a run.
No pun intended.
What you talking about?
Man,
what I missed now?
I
you,
said-
happened?
I
you were on a run.
You said you're gonna make a run. Is that a no pun intended comment?
Oh man, listen, Lamar deserved this one, man. He played well, outplayed Tannehill. Good game. I said the game of the week. The surprise for me was the Ravens defense. The Ravens defense, I think, was the MVP of the game. They held serve. They completely shut down Derrick Henry. Like, had this man frustrated.
Yeah.
PTSD. Like, he didn't know what to do with himself. Like, completely shut him down. Yeah, I think the Ravens are a live team, man. I think they're a dangerous team. And I know we haven't gotten there yet, but I think they can beat Buffalo. I think they're going to beat Buffalo.
I do too. I think that they had Derrick Henry looking like he was running in mud. You know what I'm saying? They like you said, they shut him down, and that was the goal earlier. A lot of teams say they want to shut down Derrick Henry and can't do it. So for them to be able to do it, and you know, they were putting 8 in the box, they were just making stuff happen, and to come back from 10 down, that's not something that this team is known to do, which is come back in games. And Lamar brought them back. We got a super chat real quick, too, on the subject. That's why I'm going to pull it up now. But we appreciate that. Chill Vibes. Chill Vibes says, the Ravens defense deserve more credit than Lamar. I think that it's equal. And the reason why it's equal is because he had to do what he had to do on offense just as well. I mean, the defense held serve, but if he didn't do what he did, it wouldn't make any difference anyway.
The defense don't deserve they don't deserve more credit than Lamar because the defense didn't show up the last time that they played against the Titans.
But in this game,
game they did.
Yeah.
I give him credit now, but I'm saying it's still Lamar Jackson. Like for what he's dealing with on that offense, he has to do every fucking thing, and that's a lot. Like I don't think maybe only Patty has to do more for his offense than Lamar, and even then that's arguable because he ain't got to run. Like he has to be the run game and the passing game. Like to me, that's why I give Lamar so much credit because he got to do it both at such a young age, and he's doing it at an accelerating rate. Like,
Well, I agree with the super chatter. I do think that the defense deserves more credit from Lamar. Lamar had one big play, and it was a huge play. It was a game-changing play. But if they don't hold this man to 1.2 2 yards a carry, that game get out of hand. And, you know, it sounds weird to hear Manny say Lamar Jackson outplayed Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill. Like, I know that they trying to resurrect this man's career in Tennessee, but we all know that Derrick Henry is the reason why Tannehill is even able to make plays. So that even
I was
sounds.
just stating that as a fact. I wasn't stating that like Ryan Tannehill's better than Lamar Jackson.
Well, it sounded like it, man. I don't know about you today, man. You somewhere else.
Lamar, listen, I love Lamar Jackson. That's
there
my
you
guy
go.
Right there.
That's that disclaimer.
Lamar heavy.
But
Lamar, man, that's my guy. But you know, I'm just saying that as a matter of fact, not as a matter of like I think Tannehill's better. I'm just saying, stating facts. Like he outplayed Ryan Tannehill in his building. So I think that's worth noting. Like
I'm just glad he definitely got the win because it was going to be an ugly week, one that I wanted no part of. I hear you about the run thing. I can see why you think that, but if you look at the schedule, man, they didn't really beat anybody to get into the playoffs.
All right, now you hating too. Come on.
Well, and this is why I'm not going to go as far as you with the defense because I think it's 50-50 with the defense, but I'm glad that the defense showed up and Lamar Jackson did his thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You already know the narrative would have been, oh, well, it's just the defense, and Lamar played terrible, and the defense carried him. No, Lamar had a bigger part, had a bigger stake in playing well in that game, and the biggest reason why they won that game as the defense. Now, the defense contributed and helped, and if you want to give the defense the game ball, if you want to give it to Lamar, I mean, whatever. But Lamar Jackson also made big plays. I would argue the biggest play of the game to seal the win and to get that team back in the game. And I think he deserves credit. And plus, for the narrative perspective, who could kill that he doesn't play well in big games and he can't beat a good team, he can't beat a good team on the road. That shit is done, at least for the foreseeable future anyway.
Yeah, I mean, my retort to that was we expected Lamar to do what he did, but that hasn't been the case really in the playoffs. Outside of last year, he had a really statistical great game. It really was his first game where he was shit. but we didn't expect the defense to do what they did. And that's why I lean a little bit more towards them. It may not be like 70-30 or 60-40. It may be just a little bit in the, over 50% defense. But everybody was talking about how they were going to run over, how Derrick Henry was going to run over the Ravens. And they were bringing data to back it up. He's been, averaging almost 200 yards a game against them. So for them to shut him down like that, nah, man, they deserve this one. They deserve this one. They earned it. As a matter of fact, I'll take it a step further and say they owe Lamar this one.
Yeah,
That's true.
If I want to get back to where to make it 50-50.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's the total team effort, man. And I keep saying that. I always compare it to, like I said, I remember when Mike Vick was in Atlanta, how those guys, they had a whole new attitude. Cam Newton in Carolina, he gave them a whole new feeling and attitude. So people kind of played above themselves. That's kind of what this reminded me of. You saw that same look in their eyes and that same belief in a person. So the defense played better because they believed in Lamar. They believed he can get it done. And he did. Yeah, he did it with his legs. He didn't do it with his arm as much. But, combined, the man had almost 300 yards total offense. So he did what he needed to do to win the game. And I think that's going to carry over. The confidence level is going to carry over the next game. Now, what I did not like was the way they stomped on the logo and did all that stuff. I'm just not a big fan of stuff like that. I know that it was done this season. I just don't think that they've done enough to do all that. You won one playoff game. Get off the field and act like you got some sense and some class.
You know what?
Have to get back.
They did that in retaliation.
Yeah,
the Titans did that shit.
Retaliation, they did it. Plus,
I get it, but once again, the way I would be looking at it, if I was on that team, is, man, y'all chill out. We got more to do. We ain't done enough yet. This is one game. You know what I'm saying? This is our first playoff game. Yeah, we glad to do it. And yeah, we owe them for stepping on our logo. Well, let's step on them by winning the next game. And then by winning the game after that.
You basically saying be humble.
No, he's saying that he gonna be in the locker room while we outside stumbling on the
exactly,
logo.
Yeah. Like your ass, you can go ahead. This is a 50-team roster of independent contractors. You can do whatever the hell you want to after the game's over.
This would not be enough for me, man. It wouldn't be, and I wouldn't let them. I'd be like, man, come on, man. We got another game to play.
They calling you out, Shelton. They say, did you call out the Titans when they did it? He didn't.
I didn't like the Titans doing it. I didn't like them, but I wouldn't have went right back to and done it myself. I just wouldn't have done it. I'm thinking about the next week. Man, they're trying to deflect off him.
Well, since we talked this up earlier in the show, we got the black man versus the white man, right? For the AFC. Man. Hey, Vic 2.0 versus White Vic. Who y'all got?
You know where I'm leaning.
Vic, man.
Lamar, man. I ain't going against my brothers.
Lamar, baby.
I went against them last time. I don't know why I did that. I still don't know.
That man put on for the culture. That man said, we got to go down and score. Not score, score. Lamar all the way.
Yeah, I think just hearing what you guys said a little bit earlier about the Buffalo Bills run defense, I think they're going to give him fits, man. Dobbins is good. I like him. We know what Lamar is going to do. But yeah, I'm sticking with my peoples.
Yeah, I'm sliding.
Hollywood Brown needs to show up, man. Hollywood Brown needs to show up. They need a receiver.
He had a good game against the Titans.
Yeah, he did. He had a good game. He's the key. He's the X factor, man. They just need a receiver outside of Mark Andrews, man. They need a receiver to show up because Lamar needs somebody to throw the ball to keep the defense honest. So
I was hoping that Dez Bryant played a little bit better, but I ain't seen him do nothing yet. So I don't know whether it was the COVID issue or what it's been, but I want to see if they get him the ball and do something.
Combination of Dez being old or not being what he used to be anyway, and also COVID. I don't think you can discount that.
Yeah, to me, it's just like if Stephon Diggs didn't go to Buffalo and went to Baltimore, then we probably are talking about a whole different type of Ravens offense. I think he's that type of key piece away from really expanding upon what this Baltimore Ravens team can do. But I got them going and beating Buffalo just because I just think Lamar is better doing what he does than Josh Allen is at what he does.
They said I just cursed the Ravens. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh man.
Damn. I might have to take
Watch
my
the
pick.
Ravens get
You
beat
switching your
33
pick?
to 17.
I might have to
because
for the
Ken.
culture, man.
You switching it?
Damn. No,
No, don't do
I'm
that.
not.
Man. Stick with your conviction.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep. But I hope the King curse isn't
Stick with your
real.
convictions, man.
All right, well, those are our picks. Tune in next week to hear who we're gonna add on to our playoff editions of the weekly picks. So we'll see who's in first, second, and third. But yeah, that's all the questions I got, man.
Do you got all my picks? I don't think there was. Did I give you any for some of the other games?
We got 4 games.
What did I give you for? What you got me down for?
I got you for Green Bay over the Rams. I got you for Baltimore over Buffalo, KC over Cleveland, and New Orleans over Tampa.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Cool. All of them gonna lose.
I hope not. Shit.
Yeah, me either.
I gotta bet FIFA again. Get my money back.
They asking about Deshaun Watson. Is there
Yeah, we gotta talk about Deshaun.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, possibly going to Miami.
He ain't
Yeah.
going nowhere.
Nah, not
I saw
Miami.
him
Just
saying
leaving.
that,
Period.
There's
They're
only
not gonna
Miami,
trade him, man.
Miami, and
Black GM, black head coach, and somebody else. I think. Yeah.
I'm just saying as far as who got the capital to do it.
Miami does, yeah. Miami has the Jets do technically too.
Shit,
But I don't see Houston.
He's not going to the Jets because he has the right to veto a trade, right?
He
Does he
can
have
waive
no
it.
trade?
He can waive it.
I think he can. Yeah,
He
has
can
the right
waive
to
it if
veto a trade.
he chooses. I think he said Miami. I think he vocally said Miami, or that's what the rumor report said. But yeah, he does have a no trade clause.
I don't think he's getting traded, man.
I like that William McDonald too. He said Watson to Chicago. I didn't think about that until earlier today, and I think that would be
Chicago
nice.
got to give up
Chicago.
some players or some picks. I don't even know what picks they got. They'll have the mortgage.
There's got to be a team that's going to be willing to mortgage their future.
Yeah,
or
they got a
has the
mortgage.
draft capital.
Yeah.
Miami has the draft capital. Again, I don't see Chicago because I think they're gonna ride Trubisky till the wheels fall off, literally. And so I just don't think they're stupid for not being in the mix. But honestly, I just don't feel like the Texans are gonna trade him. I just don't. The Texans, I mean, to me, if you're gonna trade him, just blow it the fuck up. Just completely just tank, blow it up, start over. And I don't think the Texans are ready to do that because he is their franchise right now. They gave him a lot of money. You see, they already changed course today by interviewing Eric Bieniemy. Now the thing with that is now if you interview Eric Bieniemy, you got to give him the job now. Now it's just like they fucked themselves because they should have brought him in for an interview to begin with. The fact that they didn't interview was already a problem to begin with. Now you put yourself in a box because now the whole world knows that Deshaun wanted Eric Bieniemy to begin with. Now you're interviewing him to placate him. Now to really placate him, you have to hire him. So even if you didn't want to hire him, now you forced to hire a guy you didn't want to. It's just a mess.
I don't think Bieniemy would even take the job because I think he has so many other options. He should be able to have his choice in wherever.
Man. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't gotten a job in 2 years. I think if you're
But
Eric
this-
Bieniemy,
but
I
this year-
don't think beggars can be choosers, bro. Like I think you gotta take the opportunity that's out there.
But the coaching jobs that are open this year are like you have Atlanta where he could draft his own QB and not have to deal with that contract. San Diego. I mean, the Chargers. Then you also have the Jets. That you have, not to say he'll go there, but he has options of where he can want to play to coach at and really take control. I don't know if he wants to deal with that Houston stuff.
Yeah, I think that'll be like last resort.
Because they mortgaged, and it's not because of Watson, it's because they mortgaged their future with Bill O'Brien doing whatever the fuck he was doing.
Even Philly, but Philly interviewed Todd Bowles today, so that was their black coach of choice.
We'll see. I don't know if that's gonna work.
I don't want him.
That's a token.
We've seen that
interview.
movie already.
Yeah.
Vibes and stuff. We got a super chat from Vibes and stuff. Vibes and stuff. Yo, I really appreciate this. Says, I don't have a question. I just wanted to show love and support. Been a fan of Dead End since 2013, and y'all never disappoint. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate that so much.
Oh, yeah. That's dope, brother. We
Appreciate you.
Yeah. I forgot to mention earlier that in the upfront that the NBA show, the Dead NBA show, will be Thursday at 9. I think I got it scheduled for 9 p.m. So yeah, as you may not know that the show was broken up into 2 parts again this week due to the playoffs and of course the NBA running concurrently. So yeah, and people seem to like it. People seem to like the format split up in 2 like that.
Wish I could be on there, man. I'll be doped up in the hospital on pills because I get ACL surgery that day.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, man. Yep. You got a white doctor or a black doctor?
Oh, you know that answer, Ken.
You gonna say brown?
Ken, you listen to my show, so you know the fact that you calling me MAGA man, you hurting my heart right now, man.
Hey, man,
I didn't do it.
That's the people.
People.
The people heard you and they spoke. All right, they say.
All because I said Justin Fields got some question marks.
That ain't all you said.
Yeah, he said a whole lot of shit.
Nothing else about this thing.
You went against Fields, Cam.
Russell.
He got Russell.
Don't compare Josh Allen to Cam Newton. I think they're 2 different
You
players.
threw Tomlin under the
Yeah,
bus.
you got my 5 bodies tonight, bro.
He tried to make it up with who was he?
All right, and he love them all
I
too.
heard
He
him
love
talk
all of them.
about James Evans. I'm like, man, what you talking about? Good times, James Evans? You talk about everybody tonight.
I ain't say nothing about no damn James Evans.
Hey, did you tear your ACL climbing in the window?
But yeah, y'all check out this show, man. They had a really, he and his partner Jonathan had a really good discussion about everything that went down last week. At the Capitol.
Yeah, for sure, man. We killed it, man, and getting a lot of love. A lot of people reaching out saying they enjoyed the conversation. So yeah, man. Talked about that shit show in Washington D.C. last week, so that was really dope. And then of course we break down the playoffs and everything we saw happen last week.
Cool. Well, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate everybody joining us.
What happened to Q? I thought we was gonna get Q. Wait.
It was.
Q.
He only come for basketball.
Yeah.
He gonna be here for basketball.
Yeah, he'll probably be here Thursday. Yeah,
I'll see how I feel Thursday night, man. I'll see how I feel Thursday night. If I'm not too doped up, because it's an outpatient thing. So.
I don't know. The NBA is mostly black.
You know what? I might not come on Thursday because I got to come on Thursday and kill my brother. Devil, Kyrie. Kyrie's still AWOL, by the way. Like, is he?
Yeah,
still,
he's still AWOL. He fucked up.
They spot.
Can I post to the chat? Am I okay to rip Kyrie Irving even though he's my dog?
No, go ahead.
Kyrie, he's a fellow. Yeah. Is it okay to rip? Can I not do that, or am I like violating?
Hey, you already been doing it, so I ain't gonna stop you now. Shit, go ahead. But I agree with you. Kyrie fucking up. He fucking up the whole thing.
Big time.
Yep, and they spotted him tonight at some Zoom party with some white lady.
Come on.
I think she's white. I don't know.
I thought it was his sister.
No, that's different.
That was when he was going to.
I just put it in the chat. So he was at something else tonight. So so he was at.
Come on, Kyrie.
Yeah, the Zoom thing. I mean, they were social distancing, but this thing tonight, man. Y'all tune in. Tune in
Thursday. I'm sure.
Tune in Thursday.
If you do show up, man, we doing our top 5 positions list. So every position.
I might have to, nigga, doped up and everything. I might have to show up.
Yeah, 1 through 5, every position.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
like I said, I see how I feel, man.
Cool. All right. Well, almost dropped my damn phone. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for us, man. We'll catch you guys Thursday when we talk about when we cover the NBA. So we got that to talk about. Coronavirus running rampant through the NBA.
Yes.
And some other stuff, man. So we'll catch you guys then. And we out. Peace.
Peace.
55 to like 30 something.
I gotta come on Thursday to talk shit about Steph, man.